What's up, everybody? My name is Aaron Ciotti. Everybody just calls me Ciotti. And today we are reviewing the brand new Emax Tinyhawk 2 Freestyle. Emax was kind enough to send this on over about a week ago for review, and spent a bunch of time with it, and I've got some opinions. But first, let's just kind of dive into the specs. Get the simple stuff out of the way. This is a bind and fly, so great starter quad for anybody. Get it out of the box, bind it up to your FR Sky radio, and you're up in the air before you know it. So big thumbs up there. The setup of the rig is 1103 7000 kV motors with 2.5-inch props that ship, the Emax Rush props. It's got a 5 amp ESC on board on the AIO board, SPI D8 receiver. 25, 100, or 200 milliwatt VTX, and this new VTX is fantastic. There were some complaints about the older VTX. It seems like they've totally got it nailed down on this one because I'm super happy with the 200 milliwatt performance. You're looking at 49 grams dry, and then with the supplied 450 MAH1S packs, you're looking at 79 grams as the all-up weight for a full carbon frame rig. Runcam Nano 2 camera, and then, like I said, 2 of these 1S 450 mAh batteries, and it is a top mount. I really love that it's a top mount. That is definitely a big selling point for me here. I am much more of a freestyle pilot, so that's something that I really like the flight feel of. The carbon weave is correct on the base plate, which is fantastic. The weave is running the length of the arms, which is great, makes the frame nice and strong. And the initial tune that it comes with is very aggressive. I was actually kind of surprised at how locked in the PID tune was that this thing shipped with, so that was really nice. Let me jump over to the Emax website for you guys and show you the price point. It is $119, and the Emax website is the only place that you can get it right now. So down below in the description is a link to Emax's website with a coupon code if you guys are interested in picking this thing up. In terms of propellers, it does ship, like I said, with the Emax Rush 2.5-inch props. These are great. These are the first ones that I ran on it. I then went on a bit of a propeller adventure to try to find something that would maybe match it and my particular flight style even better. Tried out the Lumineer 2.2-inch bi-blade, which is lovingly called the bow tie prop because it looks like a little tiny bow tie. These were okay, but they just didn't have quite enough thrust. I even tried the Babyhawk 2.3-inch, which does kind of a similar story. This is a little bit of a heavier prop. It's got a big old center hub here, but the performance was actually pretty good. Not quite as good, though. Moved on to some 65mm bi-blades by HQ. These were definitely lacking in thrust. The PID tune was, I actually had to back off the PID tune a little bit for these because it was too aggressive. But again, 7,000 kV on 2S just wasn't quite enough RPM for these guys. I also tried the Rotorex 20... What are these guys? Rotorex 2535. These are the convertible props. You can make it a 2-blade or a 4-blade. Same kind of deal, just not quite enough RPM for these. Moved on to the other good 2.5-inch prop options, which are these HQ 2.5 by 2.5 by 3s, as well as these Gemfan 2540s. These are both quite a bit more pitchy than these 2.5 rushes, and man did it show. These really bogged the motor down. So in the end, I ended up coming right back to the Emax 2.5-inch rush prop, and it is absolutely the best of these different props that I tried on this guy. The combination of 1103 motor, 7,000 kV, and 2S on this prop is a good combo. In terms of flight performance, I made a little YouTube edit here. There is a link down below to the full quality version of this. Actually, let me give you a quick look. The link below is going to bring you over to my Patreon page. Hey, here's my little segue there. Over on my Patreon page, I've got a lot of stuff like this, unreleased edits, some really nice PID tuning tutorials, some filter tuning stuff over there, and a great community of people. We call ourselves the CiottiFPV Collective. So come on over. The link down below is going to bring you to this public Patreon post with a link to, like I said, the full quality version. I am going to play this edit in a second here, but YouTube is probably going to mangle the quality. So head on over there for that unlisted video if you want to get a really good feel for the quality of the camera. I think you'll get a pretty good feel here in a second for the flight performance. So let's jump into that.
Show me how to get to know someone like you, someone like you. I want you to know me, 'cause I know then you'll see we can be true, we can be true. I want you to see what I see in us, something so real, something so real. I want you to see that this is a love we both feel, that we both feel. And how will we ever know if the love will ever grow without trying, without trying? And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying, it's terrifying. It's a losing game, it's a losing game. But this time it's more than another love war. This ain't the same, this ain't the same. They say love heals all, it makes it all alright. In time, in time. My heart still feels the breaking, but you make my world so bright. Feels so right, it feels so right. And how will we ever feel that what we've got is real? There's no denying, there's no denying. And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying, it's terrifying. And how will we ever know if the love will ever grow without trying, without trying?
And there's the cat poop landing for you guys. So let's talk a little bit more about the performance. You might have been able to tell at the very beginning of that edit that I tried to fly this in the kind of thrashy freestyle sort of style. I hate to say the same word twice, but it's, in my opinion, it's not a shredder. It's not a thrasher. The 1103 motors with a 2.5-inch prop is a really good, efficient, kind of cruisy type of a setup. But for the more thrashy stuff, I found it to not have quite enough horsepower for that big of a prop. So, and you could really see that at the end of that first big power loop attempt where I crashed on the roof. I was on full throttle, just begging that thing to pull out, and it just didn't have the guts for it. That's fine. This is a rig that's more geared towards the new pilot. And what I really like about the setup is that the 1103 motors keep it nice and light, and these 2.5-inch Emax Avan Rush props are hysterically durable, incredibly well balanced too, in fairness, and also very quiet. These are very, very quiet prop. So you end up with a really, really good cruiser that is also really durable. The props are going to hit on most crashes. This is kind of standard with quads. Typically the prop is going to hit the ground or the object first, and this rig is actually so light that it just, the props barely even bend. Like I flew a bunch of batteries on the same set of these props, and like there were tiny little chips taken out, but it didn't even have enough mass and weight to bend any of the blades. You can also kind of see me in that edit starting to fly it more smooth and cruise around more with it when I start flying around my house with the trees. So yeah, I was just kind of adopting my flying style to what this rig kind of wants. And again, it's geared towards newer pilots, I think, and it's going to be a great fit for that. It's going to get you up in the air. It seems really durable. You saw I hit that tree really hard after I was flying down the street there. Fair warning, when I fly out in front of my place there, I can hear everything. I can hear cars coming from the top of the hill. So it's very, very safe for me to go shooting down the road. Plus, it only weighs, 79 grams all up weight, so what's it really going to do? So yeah, really impressed with it there. The bunch of different battery options, of course, the 450s that it comes with are going to give you great runtime. I actually preferred it on these GNB 300s to pull the weight down a little bit, but with the double PH2 connector, which we'll look at in a second, the way that I've been using this and the Tinyhawk Race is to discharge down Tiny Whoop batteries that I don't fly. Typically what I'll do is, like, at nighttime I'll charge up a whole bunch of Tiny Whoop batteries, and I don't necessarily fly all of them down. And there's just not a great way to discharge these little 1S batteries, so I'll go out in the next morning and fly the rest of my Tiny Whoop batteries down. These Nitro Nectar 300 mAh batteries fly amazing on it. These Beta FPV and some of the other non-Nitro Nectar, these are a very special battery. Anything but these in the Tiny Whoop 300 mAh realm, like these, not quite as good. But still get it out there, get it up in the air, and get some stick time. So super, super fun little rig. Let's roll over to the workbench here, and we'll talk a little bit more about the durability. So here we go. You can see the double 450 on top there. Here's that PH 2.0 connector. If you want the absolute maximum performance out of this thing, you're probably going to want to chop this off and go XT30 on it. But again, for my uses, I actually really enjoy the fact that it's got this double PH on it. I did a couple real simple mods. The receiver antenna, I ran out the back here and I put a little zip tie with some shrink wrap just to kind of get it out of the way, make sure it's never going to get hung up in the props, and this also puts it out as far away as possible from the carbon. From the factory, it has a the VTX antenna vertical here on the side. I didn't love that, so I just cut that completely off, saved a little bit of weight there, and I literally just tucked it inside the frame here. And I hope you guys could see from the edit there that the VTX performance was fine. So the antenna is totally cool being here. It's not even held in. I mean, it's literally just the UFL is nice and stiff, and I was able just to stick it in here, and it's just a great little spot for it. Don't mind the pink standoffs. It does not come with those. I've had these in my toolbox for about 3 years, and I've never had anything to use on them, and I just thought it was so funny that this rig just happened to use that that same height nylon standoff. It comes with black nylon standoffs and metal screws. It does come with plastic standoffs to hold the board on, which is great because they're light, but fair warning, if you crash it really hard, I'm assuming that this happened when I hit that tree. It broke the threads off of the top of just this one, and it lost the nut as well. So just something to be aware of is that, you know, it is on these plastic standoffs. They will break. They're very cheap and easy to replace. So that's kind of a look at the durability. There are some scratches and scrapes. To be honest, I can't believe there wasn't any real visible damage from hitting that tree. I took a couple hits here. I smacked it into the concrete a couple times. But yeah, it held up really, really well. The camera adjustability is fantastic. It is on vertical carbon, so you just crank these M2 screws down and it holds the camera beautifully. It is fully protected. It would be quite a task to put a stick that's small enough right up the center here to actually hit this camera. But yeah, the camera holds its angle beautifully, and it uses Emax's current AIO board, which is shared between a couple of their different models, so that's good. And yeah, really durable rig. Like I said, these propellers are strong enough that most impacts are just going to be taken by the propellers, and the rig itself is going to kind of escape. And you can see even some of the little chips that have been taken out of these propellers because I've been flying this thing pretty hard. Jumping over to the live chat, I saw a couple really good questions pop up here. Let me just scroll through. Okay, so KD2 RDH Larry asks, does it have good fling or is it floaty? Definitely more floaty. Any of these lighter weight toothpick, sub 100 gram rigs are going to have that. They're not really going to fling all that well. That is mainly just because of the ratio of the weight of the rig to the size of the propellers, size of the frame, how much drag it's got. Ken Hill asked if it can do turtle mode, and it absolutely can. I forgot to show you guys this. Oops, that's the wrong one. So with the batteries top mounted like this, they act as kind of like airbags when you crash inverted. And the other thing that's nice about them is you'll typically have two props down, and then these two other ones have plenty of room for some turtle mode. I was actually able to turtle mode this over like kind of 9 times out of 10. So turtle mode works really well. Come back over here. What else do we have? Let's see here. Experimental RC wants one now. Cement Kid's just saying hi. So a couple last thoughts on this one. Lightweight with strong props. So again, that really helps with the durability. Any last second questions, drop them in the chat. Let's talk about the upgrade path to kind of wrap things up here. Emax did use specific motors with a 3-screw mount base. So one of the things that I do think this rig would definitely benefit from would be a little bit more motor. In my experience, 2.5-inch props really shine on a 1304 or even a 1204 motor. So I would love if down the road there was a 1203 motor option for this. I think it would really wake it up. I don't know if that would kind of mix with the 5-amp ESC. In theory, Emax already tried this, and maybe they wanted to keep it lightweight, keep it simple. And I get that, and that's fantastic. Danny King just asked about camera upgrade recommendations. I don't have a ton of experience with the nano cameras, but I am told that the Runcam Phoenix, the blue one, is kind of like one of, if not the best nano camera, and this would drop right in there. Any nano camera is going to drop right in here, so that is a good thing because the new nano cameras are coming hot and heavy nowadays. So in terms of a realistic upgrade path, I think it's just mainly going to be batteries and props. You can play around with these different props that I did. If you had to pick just one, I think it would be this Lumineer 2.2-inch. Because of the fact that it's a bi-blade, you are going to get a substantial increase in efficiency from it, and it still does have pretty good power. Almost the same amount of power as the 2.5-inch Blur prop. So yeah, I would say pick up some of these guys, get some more of the Blur props just so that you have plenty of them. I would pass on the HQ and the Gem fans. These are just too pitchy. They're just very overpropped on these guys. And then the bi-blade props, it just didn't have enough RPM for these guys, so I would actually pass on these as well. So there's some upgrade options for you. Definitely liking this rig. Currently, it is only available, like I said, on the Emax website. Scroll down a little bit for the link to that. Down in the description, there's also links to my Patreon page, like I said earlier, and some of the other gear that I use and trust with some affiliate links down there. So if you guys want to support me, if you like what I'm doing here, scroll down, lots of different ways to do that. Click whatever buttons you'd like, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, like, the bell, whatever's good for you. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Hey, look at that, under 20 minutes. Look at me. We're doing quarantine streams every single day. Tomorrow is going to be day 19, maybe day 20 of my daily quarantine live stream. So come on over to those, and I hope to see you over there. Thanks, guys. Be good.